Once you're lying down, oh, hey, Barbara. Nice to see you. So just grab your little weights if you have them. If you don't, you can use water bottles, or don't worry if you don't have anything, no problem. Yoga block if you have one, or a book, or something to put between your knees, and a strap or a towel. Okay, so we'll start lying down. I thought I'd change it up today a little bit. Sure you can see me there. And just feel your body on the mat, and your feet, all the 3 points of your feet, big toe, baby toe, center heel. Feel the back of your pelvis, back of the ribs, back of the skull. And we'll start with some pelvic tilts and arches. So whenever you feel ready, you can breathe in for nothing. As you exhale, let's tip the pubic bone or the hip bones towards the front ribs. The front ribs come down towards the hip bone. So you feel like you're pressing your low back into the floor, and then pick up the low back so your pelvis has to tip forwards, and you might feel lighter on your feet. So exhale, the feet get a little heavier. You roll your waistband backwards into your mat, and then inhale, tip forward. So we'll just do about 5 of those. And as you continue with that little baby motion, you'll start to feel, if you make it bigger and exaggerate it, that maybe you'll feel the rest of your spine starting to want to move as well. So when you tip forwards and you get that gap under your low back, you might feel your chin coming down a bit and your breastbone sort of pulling towards your chin. And when you do your pelvic tilt, if you really just relax into it, or maybe make it bigger than normal, you may feel that your head goes back in the same direction your pelvis is tipping back, and your waist is definitely on the floor, the ribs come down. So just play with that 3 more times. Inhale to arch, chest lifts. Exhale, chest drops. Inhale, we arch. Last one each way. And then we'll find neutral. Okay, so from here, if you want to grab your little weights, if you're using them. If not, just have your arms. They have some weight too. And we'll reach up in the air. And let's start with the palms actually facing forwards. And feel the heads of your shoulders on the floor. Just inhale, reach to the ceiling, and then exhale, drop your shoulder heads to the mat. We'll just do 4 or 5. So just a little reminder of, Lee wanted me to talk about 3 things that why Pilates is so good for you. One of them obviously is joint space, keeping the joints healthy, synovial fluid moving around in those joints, and just having good movement available to us. And obviously having muscles are good. We need them. And as we, after age 30, we need to work extra hard to keep the muscles toned up. So let's get to work there. So let's reach up one last time. And then as you exhale, keep the arms up, but just roll your hips up into the air into a pelvic curl and a bridge. And then inhale, take the arms back behind you. How far is up to you? So you want to be in a pain-free motion. Now this is where the muscles come into play. So we're standing through the 2 feet to get your glutes and hamstrings. You can open the arms a little bit wider behind you if you want. We're not touching the floor, and then roll the spine down 1 vertebra at a time. And bring the arms back up. And let's do that 3 more times a little quicker. So we exhale, roll up, squeeze the hips up. Inhale, arms open into an inverted V. You can reach for the corners of your mat. Squeeze the hips nice and high. Exhale, roll the spine down. Arms come back up. Let's do 1 more. So scoop up, arms overhead. And exhale all the air out, spine comes down, swing the arms up. Let's keep the arms up. We're going to fold 1 knee to tabletop, 2nd knee to tabletop. Let's turn the palms in. And at this point, we want to really melt the low back into the mat. And you might, if you have a small pet at home, you can visualize maybe a small dog or cat sitting on your ribs, or a sandbag if that doesn't work for you. So take a breath in. Exhale, just let the weight of the sandbag, the invisible sandbag or cat or dog, sink your ribs down into the floor. Your low back sinks, your abdominals are nice and solid. If you feel any strain, you can pull the knees a little closer to the chest. And now we're going to flex both feet, and we're going to push the left or the right heel outwards like we were doing a single leg stretch, and then pull that back in. Left heel pushes out. If you feel any strain in the neck, feel free to pop a small cushion under your head. Let's do a couple more, like you're sliding your heel along a coffee table. Last one. Okay, now from here, we're going to add the arms to this. So let's bring the left arm backwards, right heel pushes out, so it's opposites, and return. Exhale out. And all the while we do this fairly simple motion, opposite arm and leg, moving away from center, coming back in. We're keeping the low back heavy and anchored, the ribs heavy and anchored, no strain in the neck. You can always have your legs go a little higher if you're feeling a strain. So we'll just do 2 more. Last one. And let's finish this off. We'll put 1 foot down, 2nd foot down, turn your palms forward, getting ready for the abdominal curl. So inhale, let's go back with the arms again, as far as you're comfortable. Look down, nod the chin, curl up, this time lifting the chest and the face forward. Yeah, so you get that nice curl. Sweep the arms high to the ceiling and a little bit back behind you. Don't go down yet, and then go back down. Now, if this bothers anyone's neck, feel free to hold your head instead of having the head up like this, unsupported. So exhale on the way up, curling, blowing the air all the way out. Inhale, up and back. So we'll do 5 more. Make a strong exhale, keeping your face relaxed. Exhale out. It's like you're blowing through a straw, a very long straw. Good. Let's do 2 more. Curling up, pelvis stays anchored, heavy, flat. And last one. Exhale, we curl up, reach up, and bring the head back. The arms can go back, and then we'll just bring those arms right back to 90 degrees, straight up in the air, 90 degrees, and then turn the palms in to face each other. We'll do 10 more bridges, but this time we'll just do a lift of the hips, not articulating. And as we press our hips up, let's go for it. Press your hips up, open the arms out to the side. So if you're holding weights, you get a little bit extra tone. Arms are a little bit off the floor, and then hinge down, you can tap the weights together. So just do about 10 of these. So you can inhale, let's say on the way up. I'm going to change the breathing. Exhale on the way down. So you might get a sense of openness through the chest as you inhale and expand the arms out, and you get the glute work as well. So we were talking before the class started about these, talk about these movement snacks. And just a simple, it's just, if you're at your desk during the day and you have to, if you don't have time to stretch or something like that, just do a few bridges. They're always good to just wake up the back line of the body. Just, 50 of these, even 20 of these. Don't have to do 50. We've already done more than 10. Let's do 1 more. And let's finish arms up, hinge the body down. Great, you can lower the weights. If you have them, just fold your right knee tabletop. We'll go into a number 4 stretch. We're gonna do it on a bit of a rotation though. So once you get your right ankle over the left knee, just move your arms to the mat and just lift your hips a tiny bit and just swing them a little bit over to the right. So just lift yourself up a bit and sort of sit down a little off kilter to the right. Then we tip the legs to the left. So you see how I'm just falling over to the left with my feet. Now you might want to grab your foot, your right foot with your left hand. Now, and some of you may find this may be too extreme. So you might have to put your yoga block or a cushion under the foot if you have something bigger. And for, excuse me, flexible folks, you might actually have to do more. You might have to pull your foot up a little higher towards your shoulder. Once you're sorted, just reach your right shoulder blade into the floor. You can look at your right arm and sort of reach out to the right a bit. You don't have to always look to the right, but maybe just to double check your arm is down on the floor. And then if you prefer to look up, you can for the next couple breaths. Heavy front ribs, make sure you're not flaring or arching. You should get a nice stretch in your outer hip, sort of the piriformis glute area. 1 more breath there. And then exhale, let's rock back to center. If you need a deeper stretch, just pull the legs in just for a second. Good, and then let's switch sides. We'll keep it quick. So you're back to the middle, left ankle over right knee. It's nice to just shift a little to the left before you do this one, and then tip legs to the right, left shoulder blade and arm on the mat. Then look in that direction or up, doesn't matter. You can hold your right, I guess that's our left foot if you want with the right hand, especially if you're on a slippery floor. Take some breaths, exhaling, get more of your left side of your body into the floor to get more out of this. 1 more breath, and let's exhale, bring it all center, and then you can fold the legs in. If you want a little extra with this simple stretch, you're welcome to fold your forehead to your knees. Breathe in there, and let's release that down. All right, last thing here, you can have both feet on the mat, legs together, squeeze the inner thighs, and we're going to straighten just the right leg. And really, so you can't tell, but I'm actually squeezing my inner knees together, arms on the floor. You're gonna slide that right leg down the left lower leg until it's almost on the floor, and then circle the right heel, or not circle it, but slide it out to the right, keeping your pelvic bones level. Lift it up, knee height, and then you close the knee back, knees together. So we go down almost to the, well, actually to the floor. Your heel will slide out like you're on a skating rink, up and back. 1 more this direction. So if you don't feel your core on this one, it's probably because you're not doing keeping stable enough. So if you're not sure, you can always, if you're not feeling it, put your hands on your pelvis, elbows on the mat, and just really don't let your pelvis twist. Let's go the other direction at the top. So we open to the right, keep your leg parallel and your feet or your foot parallel. So in other words, don't turn out, because that may be another reason. If you don't feel it, that could be the reason. So nice parallel leg. We do 1 more. You should definitely feel your quads in this one. Very last one, finish at the top, knee to knee, give it a gentle squeeze like you're magnetized. Grab those weights again. Where's my other weight? Here we go. If you're using weights, you might want to slither that foot out a little further, that left foot. Oh, my quad is burning here. Inhale, arms go back. So we're gonna do 3 ab curls, or if you want, you could roll right up to the top, up to you. Roll back down. And if that feels too extreme, just do a chest lift. So you just curl to the bottom of your breastbone, or you can keep going all the way up. And then roll down. We have one more. That leg should be burning. Last one. Exhale, rolling up, rolling down. Great. And let's finish that one off. Lower your right leg, circle the arms out to the side, bring both knees in again. Just do a quick froggy stretch, and you can just sort of rock the legs one over the other. Add a gentle twist before we do side number 2. Okay, so back to the exercise. So we'll have knees together, arms on the floor, or you might prefer hands on pelvis, just to double check that you're doing it. Well, it's hard to tell sometimes when we're by ourselves in our room. So squeeze your inner knee, straighten your left leg. Make sure that you're not arching your back. So you're really imprinting your pelvis and your ribs down. So we just slide down, leg slides down, heel touches. It's like you're cleaning the floor with a cloth under your heel. You can only go about 30 degrees open without cheating. We open, we close at the top. So we'll do 3 more, down, open. When you go open to the left, you have to press the right side of your body sort of into the floor to stabilize. You're still breathing. We don't need to grimace, but should feel it on the deep core muscles. That's what we're targeting. Sometimes the deeper ones are harder to feel, so you really have to focus on your form. Let's go the other direction. So once your knees are connected, we open out, keep your knee facing you so it's parallel. We go down, circle in, back up. 2 more, open, 30 degrees, down, swoop in, squeeze it up, last one. And now for the grand finale, legs knee to knee, legs straight. I would suggest probably walking your right foot out, especially if you have a slightly, well, it depends on your body proportions, but I prefer to do that. So arms up with your weights if you want. Inhale, arms go back. So remember, you can either do a chest lift, so you just curl up, or you can go all the way up to a sitting teaser position. That's it. Good stuff, guys. We roll back down. The weights actually helps a little bit to make it it actually assists us in the rolling through the spine. That's why I like having the weights. And mine are only 2 pounds, by the way. I should have specified. I wouldn't have anything more than 5. Well, so last one. And when you're all done, you can circle the arm, lower that leg, rest your arms, bring that leg in, and we'll just, again, do the quick froggy, knees wide, feet together, and then you can just rock one knee over the other fairly casually, and then the other. 1 or 2 more, and then eventually we'll roll over to one side, and let's come up, and we'll come up to all fours. How's everybody doing? Okay, so all fours. So spread your hands. Oh yes, and the third, I was supposed to mention 3 things why this is all good for us. I think the third thing, blood flow. So as we go into this, you'll feel warmer and warmer. So I think we already know this, but could just mentioning it. So we've got the middle finger straight ahead, eyes of our elbows forward, wide shoulder blades, try not to sink or collapse. Tuck your toes under. We're going to do something called the hover or the bear position. So we're going to inhale, prepare. As you exhale, think of the low back sort of reaching up to the ceiling, the front ribs pick up and your knees pick up off the floor. We're just going to hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you can lower down, relax your toes in between. We're going to do maybe 5 of these. So if you're just to take a little breather, shift back. And we're going to add on challenges as we go. So the next one, we come forwards, tuck your toes, eyes of the elbows screw forwards, ribs in, belly in, exhale, knees pick up. Okay, so for this one, we're going to shift sort of like a typewriter carriage to the right. So the right hand is bearing a little more weight, and then everything glides to the left. So try that option a couple more times. Very small, but you'll feel a little more work in one arm, one hand. One more to the left. Come back to center, rest, relax your toes, shift back, just let your shoulders have a little break. Don't lose your position. And then we come back up into it, tuck the toes. Now the next one, we're going to attempt to lift one hand off the floor. So maybe before we do it, just pick up your right hand. Simple now, right? But just try to do it. Even this though, it's easy to shift. Put the hand down, left hand picks up, try not to shift. Our knees are on the floor, but it's still easy to shift. So just try one more of those. Each hand, And when you feel fairly solid, let's go for it. So eyes of the elbows forward, take a breath, exhale, we pop the knees up. I'm gonna face you so you can sort of see what I'm doing here. So my knees are up and I'm just gonna lift one hand. Now to do that, you're gonna have to shift a tiny bit to the opposite direction or sideways, and then you pick. So it's okay to shift. And this one we do shift. Sorry, I sort of set up the exercise in a bad way. So yeah, in the first one we didn't shift. This one we do shift because we have to. It'd be unusual not to shift. So one more of those, each hand. If this is too much for the wrist, then obviously stick to the first option. And then you can put your knees down, shift back. Let's do a real child's pose this time. You can walk your hands out all the way. Maybe shift a little if that feels good. We have one more. So this is the grand finale. And if anyone's wrists are hurting, do it on your forearms. And instead, you're going to do a knee hover, or you can do a plank and do things like just lift one foot and then the other foot. Okay, so if you're finding it too much. So here we go. Bear. So we breathe in, eyes of the elbows forward, pop your knees up. And it doesn't have to be perfectly steady. So we pick up, let's say you pick up your left hand, you touch your right hand, and then you come back to center. And then the same hand is now going to touch the same knee. So you have to shift back a little. And then we'll touch the opposite knee. And then we're going to touch the ankle. So you're going to shift back like you're doing a bit of a very tiny downward dog. You come back to the hover, and then we do the opposite ankle. Okay, and then you can either rest or we'll just keep going. So now your other hand picks up, you tap the opposite hand, you tap the same knee, shift back, you tap the opposite knee, shift back, ankle, shift back to your bear, and then the final ankle. Good, and then relax. That's the hard one. Let's rest. Walk your hands out, and then you can walk to 2 o'clock, relaxing in your child's pose on a diagonal. Both hands to the right. Couple breaths, get your breath back to center, over to the left. All right, and then we come back to center. Let's roll up the midline, the middle. We'll come up to standing. So if you just want to tuck your toes under, rock back, we'll pick up the hips so we can go into a forward ragdoll, just hanging comfortably over the legs. And you can have a bit of a knee bend with this. Dangle your arms, take a big breath in, lean a little bit into your forefeet, so you have a little more weight in the front of the feet. And then when you roll up, feel like your legs, it's like almost like a little hamstring curl in a way. Although the hamstrings are still, they're working, which will kick in your core muscles, and you just roll up one vertebra at a time. And I'm going to switch my monitor so you can see me a bit better. Okay, so let's go into a staggered stance position. So you can have your right foot in front, left foot a little bit back. Okay, so I'll just maybe show you here. And you're going to you actually don't need your back heel on the floor. So you can just be lightly on the ball of your foot. So you're not too close to your feet, you're just a comfortable stance. And I'll show you where I'm heading with this. So imagine you're maybe doing some housework and you drop something. So you're going to bend both knees, hinge forward equally at the hips, make sure you're not twisting the pelvis. So you're just coming straight down. We're just going to reach our fingers. We're not going to touch the floor. We're going to pretend something's, like we're lifting, I don't know, something a few inches off the floor. Okay, so from there, we're going to swing these arms up. We're going to straighten the legs. It's almost like we're doing a stretch through the front of the body. So you're just lengthening up, and you can feel the chest sort of lengthening a bit. And then we bow down, we hinge over, we reach for the floor, and then we arc the arms up. You can inhale at the top, and then exhale, chopping down. Inhale, swing the arms up. Exhale, coming down. You can go as low as you want to. Obviously, it's going to be a little more work and load on the leg that's in front if you come down deeper like that. So it's up to you. If it bothers your knees, don't go so low. 2 more. So I have the back foot's more like a kickstand. Last one, we go up. Now we'll stay up. Open the arms to the side. You can do this with a straight leg or not, but we're going to go into the airplane position. So you're going to bow forward as I fall over here. Bow forward. Let's turn our thumbs to the ceiling. And now we will bend the stance leg. So we'll bend, it's my left knee in front. I don't know what knee you have in front. But we're just going to bend it a little bit and then straighten it. Bend it, keeping the opposite hip square to the floor. Last 2. Again, stay within your comfort zone. Last 1. Good. And then bend it. Just put your back foot on the floor for balance, and up we come. Great. And then we'll switch feet. So step the other foot a little bit in front. So we'll soften both knees. And we're just going to Now, one thing I will say with this one, it's easy to shift the hip. So alignment is always a good thing to watch. So we don't want to go like this and do something funky. So we're just going straight down like we're reaching for something on the floor. I would say 99% of my weight is working this leg. And then we just swing the arms up and we get a nice, almost like a stretch of the belly and the chest. So we chop down, reach down, inhale, we swing up. Good, let's do 3 more. Using your front leg, your quads and your hamstrings. Inhale up, a couple more. Inhale up, get that nice reach, especially if we're sitting at a computer a lot. The arms, they very rarely go over the head. So this is a really nice, you call it a movement snack. Incorporate this into your day, reaching the arms up. Last one. And as we come up, we'll stay up, circle the arms to the side, thumbs up. Check that your hips are squared forwards. Bow forward gradually. Some of you may prefer to have a slightly soft stance leg. And I'll demonstrate that. And once you're there, bring your outside hip probably down a bit so you're even. And then we'll do 5 bend and straightens of our stance leg. So we can bend, inhale, feel your foot flattening on the floor, and then it sort of suctions up. Bending. You're looking a little bit ahead of you on your mat. So your neck isn't collapsed or too arched. Last one. Good, and then you can put your back foot down and we will come on out. Let's walk to the back of our mat. So we'll do 3 rounds of ragdoll. We'll walk out to downward dog, plank, and back up. Okay, so we want to be at the back of our mats. We're looking ahead, eyes look down finally, soft knees, and just roll down. And then we just take little steps with the hands and try to articulate through the hands so they have a nice massage. Now you'll hit your downward dog spot for a second. We'll pause there. And then we keep going, maybe 1 more step or 2. So you end up in your plank. Hold your plank. Now at this point, you can put your knees on the floor for the first one anyway. We're going to do a push-up. I forgot to mention this part. Down and up, just 3. Down and up, 2. Down and up, 1. Pop the knees up. Pike your hips up a little. Try to minimize the sway as you walk your hands back little by little. Back to the toes, soft knees. Let's roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And when you get to the top of that, just for the arm raises, it's always good to do, just reach the arms up, reach for the sky, and then circle the arms, and we'll do 2 more. So you can roll down. We'll walk it out. So if you just want to do a tiny push-up, or if you're really strong, you can keep your knees off the floor. But I like doing a deep push-up, so I'm going to put my knees on the floor. You can always widen your hands too if it feels better. We'll go right down, almost to the floor, push back up. Down and up. Last one. Ooh, I see some good push-ups there. Down and up. Pop your knees up if you're doing what I'm doing. Pike the hips, little steps. Soft knees, roll up. And we'll go 1 more, just flowing through it a little quicker. Reach for the sky, circle. Last one. So you roll through. Walk the hands, just articulate through all the joints in your hands. Find your push-up position. Maybe I'll try it with the knees up. I'm gonna go, you can always go hands wider. Bend and push. Bend the elbows, keep the shoulder blades wide. Last one. Great. And rather than coming up for this one, we'll just lower the knees, shift back, quick child's pose. And hopefully we're all more or less at the back of our mat. I'm gonna shimmy back a tiny bit because we're gonna proceed onto the stomach. So why don't you just reach the arms out there. Bend the elbows, sort of stick them out a bit. We're gonna slither like a cobra sort of coming through, or a cat coming under a fence. You slither down. We're gonna come onto the stomach. Now, once you're on your stomach, you can have your hands beside your chest, like a cobra position. Do something called the inchworm. So kind of a push-up, but not really. So inhale, we just pick up the face to look in front of us. Okay, and then we're going to use the hands when we need to pick ourselves up. Then we're going to keep the hands where they are, but round back, round your spine. Don't lose your hand spot, just keep it glued to your back. Just sit back as close to the heels as your body proportions allow, depending on how long your arms are. And we round up, round, you undulate from rounded cat into friendly cat or upward dog in a sense. We bend our elbows, skim the sides of your body on the way down so you get some tricep work, and then your face is back to the floor. So let's do 2 more like that, 2 more inchworms. So face comes up, chest, arms help with the last moment. Scoop your abdominals round back, sit, get a tiny traction to the shoulders, round forward, exhale, Inhale, extend, chest to head, face forward, and roll down using your arms. Triceps all the way. Good. Last one. So peel the face up, chest, hands when you need them. Round, dive the head down, sit back, look at your toes or whatever you see back there. Round forward, head forward now. Use your arms. And as we arrive at the ground, just rest in a straight spine. Might want to wiggle your hips back to make yourself a little taller if you feel compressed there. Bring your arms behind you now, palms up, collarbones wide, make sure the shoulders, gravity will roll the shoulders forward, so just watch for that. But at the same time, we're not squeezing our blades. Now we're going to press both arms up, both hands up to the ceiling, both arms up, lift the legs, knees straight, and then we'll lift the chest and the face. So we're looking a little bit ahead of us, no strain in our necks, and then we'll come back down. So this is the dolphin exercise. So exhale, anchor your pelvis, strong legs. It's like your hands are pushing the ceiling away. And ease back. So let's do 2 more of those. Breathing in at the bottom. Exhale, heavy pelvis, straight legs. Legs are working your glutes, upper back. Don't want the low back feeling this. So if you are, just make it a bit smaller if you need to. Last one, or just use your glutes and your abdominals a bit more. Last one, we're going to stay up. Now this one might be a brain teaser, at least it is for me. So right arm will squeeze higher, left leg squeezes higher, and switch. So opposite sides of the body. So it's a cross crawl pattern. So we're going to start fairly slowly, at least I am. Try not to rock. No side to side like this. This one's very, very robotic. And then once you have that, well, oops, I lost it. Speed it up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then everything floats up. Open the arms to the side and relax. You can bring your hands by your chest. Push up into child's pose, just give your spine a bit of a rest. Now, sometimes you might not want to round your back after that. Maybe you don't need to. So what you can do instead is open the knees quite wide, and that way there's less of a rounding in your low back. So it's totally up to you, or you can have your knees together or close together. So just take a final couple breaths there. The breath settle. And then we'll roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And let's finish today a little differently. Oh, we didn't use our bands today. Didn't get around to that, but we'll sit in the mermaid position. I want to sneak in a mermaid today. So let me just tip my monitor. I guess I didn't have my camera that well placed. Sorry about that. So we're in a mermaid. So let's say your knees pointing to your right. If this doesn't work for your body, have your legs straight or just one leg straight. Okay, so right hand, you're gonna lean on the right hand. You're gonna go over onto that elbow, reach the top arm. It's okay if this hip comes up a little bit, but we'll try to minimize that and we'll just pop over to the other side. So we'll just do 2 more. And over, 1 more time. Okay, and then from here, we're going to, same idea, except we're gonna take the feet in a slightly different orientation. So you're gonna pick up your knees and you're gonna step your feet, the top foot over the bottom ankle. So from here, I just go like this. My feet are on the same line as this hand here and the hip on the floor, and we'll go into another side bend. So reach the top arm up, bottom shoulder down. So you can make this, the beginnerish version is, or depends on your wrist too, but you can come up onto your knee like this. If you want a little more action or a little excitement, you can just straighten the legs, in which case you might have to slide your feet out a little further. Okay, squeeze the inner thighs, you bend your knee, you come on down. We'll just do 2 more. So you can either just come up onto the bottom knee, or you can come into sort of a plank and then side bend up. Forgot to add that last time. Let's add that. And then we control it down. Just 1 more. Ooh, that looks good, guys. So up with the arm, up with your pelvis, up with the bottom knee if you wish. So use your inner thighs, reach the arms, the arm over the ear, reach your ribs up, and we come on down. Excellent. Let's switch sides. So we'll start with the more stretch version, which is mermaid. And as I say, you can switch your legs if you need to. You just do a regular side bend if you want. So we just go over to the left, your left. Let me go over to the right. Just watch your knee when you go this direction. If it feels cranky, I wouldn't go, would skip that part. Everything should feel good. We're just opening up the joint spaces, stretching the connective tissue. Now, as we come up, we're gonna go into the official side bend. So that was mermaid, this is side bend. So you just swing your feet onto like a tightrope on your mat, if you had a line on your mat. Okay, so make sure your knee's on the mat. So you press up either onto the bottom knee, or you can straighten your legs. Stretch the ribs up to the ceiling, open the knees, bottom knee touches, we ease back down. Beautiful. So we go up with the arm, up with the waist and hip, squeeze the inner thighs. Beautiful, and come on down. Last one. Up with the arm, pelvis, ribs lift. Use your core, use your inner thighs, and we come down nice and controlled. Good, that was good. That's in the advanced series. And then we'll just swing around to the front. We can open the arms, give yourself a big hug, stretch your shoulder blades, sort of slump over a bit. This is unofficial. And then roll up, and then we're going to open the arms out to the side, thumbs back, lift your chest a little, breathe in, and relax. All right, so good work, everyone. Thanks very much.